Welcome to this bonus episode of the Books, Beards, Booze podcast. This is going to be a two-part bonus episode where basically we found a really good list on Buzzfeed, of all places, of the 51 fantasy series that you should read. 51 best fantasy series everyone should read is the title. And we'll provide the... God, that's not the title. The title is the 51 best fantasy series ever written. There we go. And we'll provide the link for that on the blog for you to check out. But we just figured that we would sit down and kind of run through the list. On the first one, we'll go through 51 through 25, and then later we'll do the rest. But so yeah, let's just dive right in with number 51, The Magician's Trilogy by Lev Grossman.
Yeah. Now I started this and never finished it. The first book.
Yeah.
And this is a book that you've read.
I have read. This book was one of the biggest letdowns I've ever read. I was promised Harry Potter for grown-ups, and the first half of the book is very much that. And then the second half of the book is Chronicles of Narnia for grown-ups.
And you were like, no thanks.
And I just didn't care. I just didn't. It's called Fillory.
Yeah, I know. Yeah. That's where I stopped.
Yeah,
was when they started the Fillory stuff. I'm like, I'm good.
Yeah, I just didn't give a flying fuck about the
and
Fillory
it was so
stuff.
such a bummer for it was a dark.
Yeah, it was very much Harry Potter for grown-ups.
See, I don't like that though, because it's not for grown-ups. It's Harry Potter for people who want to slit their wrists. Cause it's not like, oh, we're talking about adult themes. It's just like everything's miserable and we hate the world. Like, oh, well, that's
it's more like
awesome.
Catcher in the Rye with magic. I would say that's.
I don't know. It wasn't my cup of tea. It didn't end up being something that I particularly enjoyed.
Yeah.
I liked the idea of it, like you said.
Yeah.
You give me a school and I'm good.
Oh yeah, no,
but,
all about a school, and I liked the way that the school was executed. I liked all that. I don't know, Fillory can just fuck off, and I clearly the later books have more Fillory, and I just didn't care.
Yeah, just weren't about that life.
Once they graduated, I lost all interest. Write me 3
books about what happened in the first half of this book.
Yeah.
Why? You know why Harry Potter worked for so long? Because they were in the school for so long.
Yeah. All right. Number 50, The Rift War Cycle by Raymond E. Feist.
Now, this is very near and dear to my heart. It is the series that got me into reading, period.
And it's one that we've both read in its entirety.
Yeah, because that's the first 4, right? Yeah.
Right. Technically a trilogy, but they split the first book into 2.
Yeah.
Magician Apprentice and Magician Master.
And then Silverthorn and A Darkness at Sethanen. Yeah. I love those books. There's a certain amount of nostalgia involved with it for me, but also I'm going back and rereading them, or listening to them in audiobook form right now, and they are much better written than I remembered, and I'm enjoying it.
I mean, I have issues with the later trilogies, because to me they just are very formulaic, but the first 4, great, especially the first 2. The first 2 are Magician is great, and then the other 2 are good, but then Rise of a Merchant Prince is cool.
Yeah.
He does some really cool things with it. It just, as time goes by, the series starts to kind of repeat itself.
This is only for Rift War, though, right? The first 4?
Right, yeah. This list only says Rift War.
Yeah, I liked the Rise of a Merchant Prince was the second one in the Demon... I think it was
Demon Wars.
Demon Wars. I really liked that one, too, a lot. But I think the reason that Magician was better in most everyone's opinions than Silverthorn and A Darkness at Sethanen is because Pug was the main character.
Yeah.
And, guess what? It's cool when you have a main character that's bad as all hell.
Yeah. Very true.
I liked Arutha and Jimmy and all them, but, none of them have, they're just people.
Yeah.
There's no power fantasy in it. And it was cool, the parts in the I can't remember if it was the third or fourth book, where Pug and Thomas get together and like go to the City Forever or whatever it was. I think it was City Forever. It's been a while since I've read it. But
yeah, you gotta
go
think, for me, it's been probably 10 years since I've read it.
And they go looking for Macross and stuff like that. And that was really cool, but they weren't like the main thrust of the story.
Right.
And I mean, I just want books about. You know the worst part about that series is the fact that after the second book, Thomas was pretty much tied to Elvendar.
Yeah.
If he
what were the that they were called?
Oh, the Valhiru.
Valhiru, yeah. I thought that was a cool name.
If he had been able to like be a dude just out and about, that would have been amazing because that character is the shit.
Yeah.
I love that character so much, and him and Pug were just awesome. And then like they didn't use them that much in the second part because they're God mode. Like there's which I understand, but they didn't nerf. And I say this as if it's a video game.
Right.
They didn't nerf Pug when they shut the portal down, so like he can only use the power of one world instead of both worlds, which I didn't really like that, and I think they end up kind of fixing that in later books so that he's uber badass man again. But
yeah,
still, like there's things you can do.
Definitely, I think we would both endorse that you go read this.
Yeah, definitely.
49, Dreamblood by N.K. Jemisin. At the time of the writing of this, it's ongoing. It's only 2 books are out. I've heard a lot of I don't know much about N.K. Jemisin, but I've seen their name crop up a lot. I don't know why I just automatically assume when I see 2 initials, I just always assume it's a woman. I don't know what that says about me. Probably nothing good. But
no, it's probably not that. It's probably that in the past women did that because they could get published. Right, and then that's just since you know the history of that, you probably just assume. Yeah. But anyways.
But yeah, so N.K. Jemisin, I do want to check this out. The little description sounds kind of cool. About it. It says a promising series by N.K. Jemisin. The Dreamblood series creates a vivid landscape of war, intrigue, and religion set in the city of dreams where crime and violence are unknown, but nightmares lurk. Sounds kind of cool, and I know this person is an up-and-coming, for real up-and-coming author. So
that sounds like something you should definitely get to then because we're trying.
As soon as I get done with this Marco stuff, I'm going to really start tearing through some stuff.
Yeah.
Marco's turning into a slog. All right, 48. The Traitor's Son Cycle by Miles Cameron. I've never heard of this guy, never heard of this book.
Me either, yeah.
Or series of books, but it follows a band of mercenaries, apparently. So that
sounds up your alley.
Yeah. They say it reads like historical fiction if medieval Europe had been full of monsters and magic. So it sounds kind of cool. Apparently
that sounds a lot like your style.
Yeah, apparently the author's real big into reenacting. His author photo is intense. But yeah, I'll probably check that out at some point. 47, the Farseer trilogy by Robin Hobb. Another one that we've both read.
Which I both love. Yeah. Did you read all of them?
Yeah.
I couldn't remember.
Yeah. Apprentice, Assassin, and Quest?
Yeah, this is trilogy, because it doesn't include all of the Farseer books. It's just the first trilogy.
Yeah.
Because I've only read the first couple books. Because when I finished them, I think Hobb had just started the next trilogy, or one of the books was out, maybe 2 of them.
She's written a ton of trilogies.
Yeah, she's written a lot into that series now, from what I understand.
At one point, I was tracking down all her books, from thrift stores, and then I was holding them, and I eventually just gave them away.
I have 2 copies of Assassin's Apprentice. I don't remember why. I think I lost one temporarily and went and bought it because I wanted Bane to read it.
Yeah.
But then I remembered that a dog died in it, I think, and I was like, you know what, maybe let's not give that to him.
You can't handle a dog dying.
Those books are fantastic. I love them.
Definitely those.
I have a nice place in my heart for them, mostly because I was reading them in 10th grade.
Yeah.
9th grade, and there's some emotion in the later book, the second book, and I got to the end of the second book, and I was like, I hate the world. I can't finish this, and I just put it away. And then I went back and reread them after I graduated high school. I was like, these are really good, but man, I see why I was like, oh, this is a bummer. Yeah, bad feels.
I like it. 46, The Dark is Rising sequence by Susan Cooper. I had honestly forgotten this
I
series.
feel like I've heard of that.
I read them. I checked them out at the Greenville Library.
Oh my god!
many years ago, and I don't remember really. The names kind of sounded familiar, and then when I saw the covers, like, oh crap, yeah, I did. And so I've read them. I could not tell you anything about them other than it's like a kid.
You enjoyed it?
Kid, yeah, I do remember really enjoying them. Like, because I read all of them.
Yeah.
I want to say it's at least 4 books. I want to maybe 4 or 5. I can't remember now, but at least that's what my faulty memory is telling me. But they were good, and I want to say they're written for kids, like maybe like teens kind of deal. 45 is the Abhorsen trilogy by Garth Nix. I hear the name Garth Nix a fair bit, but I don't think I've read anything by it. And I haven't read this, obviously, but I see Sabriel crop up fairly
often.
Book.
Yeah.
So, but apparently it's a high fantasy series with a non-traditional subject, a family of necromancers.
Okay.
So and a cat named Mogget. So it's got a cat. We like.
I do like
cats,
especially if the cat's a viewpoint character. Yeah. That's always a.
So I'll hope. God, there's just so much good stuff to read, but I'm going to try and get around to that. 44 is the Gormenghast series.
Heard of it, but haven't read it.
I want to say it's 4 books. I think. But it's, you know how I like Fantasy of Manners? It's in that subgenre.
Oh, then that should be a thing that you...
I think, if memory serves, I wikied it at one point. I want to say it was like Gothic Fantasy of Manners kind of deal. But I think I just read that they're turning it into a movie or a series or something, so we'll see.
Maybe that'll be a news segment in one of the upcoming episodes.
Maybe. Alright, 43. The Bartimaeus sequence by Jonathan Stroud. Yeah, don't know.
Same here. Complete blank. Nothing.
Young adult series. Kind of Harry Potter-ish, maybe. I don't know. Got some cool covers. But yeah, so don't know shit about that one. 42. The Once and Future King by T.H. White. I read about half of it one time. It's fucking weird, dude.
Really?
It's fucking weird.
Is that one of those that you don't like the premise of? It's not?
No, it's Arthurian legend.
Well, yeah. Okay,
it's a retelling of the Arthurian legend, but weird. So a lot of the stuff got carried over into the Disney movie. Some of the weirder parts of that Disney movie come from this.
That makes sense.
Yeah. So, but I'm not telling anyone to rush out and read that. I know I'm probably going to get a lot of hate for that, but fuck it. Life's short. Read better books. 41. The Powder Mage trilogy by Brian McClellan. I've heard of the series. It's like Napoleonic shit with magic. So I'm in.
Yeah,
that kind of stuff interests me. So
I've heard of it, but I don't know if it's from reading this list,
yeah,
or if you mentioned it to me, or if someone else did. I'm not sure.
I think I saw this on another list where it was like, this was on a list of like maybe like grimdark stuff, even though it's like more like Napoleonic, but it's apparently pretty dark, I think. Yeah, do want to read that. 40, The Chronicles of Thomas Covenant, the Unbeliever.
Definitely heard of that.
Yeah.
Definitely haven't read.
I started reading the first book, and it's a premise I don't like already. It's a guy from Earth that winds up in a fantasy world. And he's called the Unbeliever because he gets there and he doesn't believe that it's real. So like
that would wear on your nerves.
First thing he does is he rapes a chick. He's like, this isn't real, and just rapes his chick. Like, it's a rough start.
Because that's what I would do in that situation. Right. Obviously.
So it's
what the
I don't know. This had a lot of influence on fantasy. It's pretty old at this point, but I don't know. I'm not in any rush to read it. Like, I know a lot of people really like it, but I don't know.
That's just pretty rough, though.
Yeah. 39, Dragonlance. And it doesn't...
There's like a trillion.
There are. It says here over 200. I read the, Dragons of Autumn...
Yeah.
Winter, summer, spring, all that shit.
I've started those twice.
I just don't like them.
Really?
No.
I wanted to.
I read all 4 of them and don't like so many of the characters. I just don't like the characters. Yeah, it reads a bit too much like D&D at times, and I hate stuff that reads like D&D.
My brother read them and liked them, so I knew of them. And then
the character everyone likes is Raceland.
Raceland, yeah, he's a dick.
I hate Raceland, and like that's one. Oh, Raceland's great. I don't like.
I had a big long argument with my brother for like a long time, like who wins in a fight, Raceland or Pug?
Pug.
That's what I said.
It's not even close.
Yeah, but
was he saying Raceland?
Oh yeah.
Oh,
he went heavy. We went to war on that one. But
hardcore.
also, our mutual friend Ricky, has read a chunk of these.
Well, you know, Lindsay.
Yeah.
A ton of them.
Mm-hmm.
And so, I don't know. I just never took to them.
Yeah.
I read those, and I don't know, man.
Sometimes I'm in the mood for something that has like a traditional fantasy, like elves, dwarves.
Yeah.
Normally that's not my thing. You'll notice as you listen to our episodes, I tend to go away from that. But every once in a while I'm really into it, and every once in a while I'll be like, oh, I really want some, and that's what I go to.
Yeah.
And then I start it again, and I'm okay with it for a little while, and then I can quickly, I'm like, I'm good. Moving on.
I mean, there's nothing wrong with the way that they're written. This is a personal preference. I just like the way that they read.
Yeah, they definitely read like a Dungeons and Dragons. Like, that was a problem I had with those. Same thing, I had a problem with R.A. Salvatore.
Yeah. Ugh. Alright, 38. The Prince of Nothing by R. Scott Baker. And this is the one that I keep saying, I had never heard of it, never read anything about it other than this.
This is the one you tell me I should read,
that
right?
you should read. That apparently, it's a good book, but like if you really are into philosophy, you'll get a lot more out of it. And like I'm just not super into philosophy, but it does sound pretty good. Yeah. So I may check that out.
I think I want to check that out, but I've got a long list of books that I already have that I need to get through, and I should, with any luck, I'll be done with all of those by the end of the year. So maybe around the beginning of the next year, I can pick that up.
37. This is one I definitely is on my to be read. The Reria Revelations by Michael J. Sullivan.
Yeah.
I haven't read anything of it, but I hear nothing but good things.
I want to say I have the first audiobook of that.
Yeah.
I can't remember
Theft
if I
of
do or
Swords, Rise of Empire, and Heir of Novron. But yeah, I definitely want to read this. Apparently it's...
Or maybe I have a different series by that author. I think I have a different series by that author.
Well, apparently it's a trilogy, but really it reads like one book, apparently.
Yeah.
So, but yeah, definitely want to check that out. 36 is Inheritance Cycle, which that's Aragon, Eldest, Brissenger, and Inheritance.
Yeah, I read the first one of those. That was something I read, I feel like it was a little after how do I describe it? I think I read it a little bit late, like it feels like
a little too old.
Yeah, because I had just started college and I read it and I was like, this is a thing. Like, it's not bad, but to me it kind of felt pretty
juvenile.
Not even juvenile. God, I hate to be the guy to say generic, but
well, it says here it's entry level high fantasy.
Yeah, I guess that would. Yeah, okay. And at that point, I had.
If I had kids, which I don't, thank God, I'd get this for them.
Yeah, because I think at that point I'd read Rift War, I'd read Wheel of Time, I'd read Sword of Truth, I've read.
Yeah,
so I'd read a lot of stuff, and I was like, what is?
Yeah, I would like to go back and read it. I feel like I could probably.
Oh, you could probably speed through them.
A week, no problem. 35. I want to mispronounce this. Temeraire by Naomi Novik. Again, it's like basically described as like the Napoleonic Wars for Dragons. So that interests me.
That sounds cool.
Yeah, it's described as Hornblower meets Dragon Riders of Pern, and I enjoy both of those things.
I don't know either of those things. I mean, I know of Dragon Riders of Pern, but I haven't read.
So I've read a couple of books, but it's been a long time. 34, Redwall by Brian Jocks. Love this series. I've read all of them, I think, at this point. Love
I have not so much as touched them. I know what it is because of you.
They're so good.
But other than that,
I'll say this. Like, if you're a diehard fan, read them all. But if you're not a diehard fan, I'll just read a few select ones. They're great. 33, The Elric Saga by Michael Moorcock.
That is a thing that, if I'm remembering correctly, my dad has tried to get me to read.
Yeah, it's they're short. This is back when fantasy was short.
Yeah.
And I've read 3 or 4 of them. I want to read all of them at some point.
Interesting.
Yes, really, really good main character. The protagonist is really, really interesting, really cool.
Yeah. What's it about?
The main
straight fantasy? Are we talking?
Yeah, it's fantasy.
Darker,
kind of
definitely Conan.
No. He's the last emperor of Melnimene, which is like this great empire kind of deal, like super powerful magic, yada yada yada. They're lord over the world, but he is an albino, has to take drugs to just stay alive.
That's interesting.
And he kind of rejects everything about his culture, but it really, anyway, he ends up like his kingdom gets destroyed, and he goes traveling through the multiverse kind of deal.
That's kind of cool.
Yeah, it's great. I'll say this: like the ninth book, there's a scene in that I read that one like way out of order. There's a scene at the end of that. It's one of the most powerful scenes I've ever read in fantasy. It's
really
amazing. Yeah. But yeah. All right. Moving on. 32, Dark Elf Trilogy by R.A. Salvatore. Never read Salvatore. Probably not ever going to.
I have read the first book and a half of that series. It was okay.
Love D&D. Don't want to read D&D.
We've got a friend that's highly suggested.
But I'm not sure that he's actually literate.
Oh, he's not. We know he's not.
I know he pretends to read.
We know you can't read, Dusty, if you ever hear this.
We know you're out there.
Yeah, but you can't read. But no, he suggested it, and I bought the whole trilogy in like one big book.
I've always heard if you're going to read one, read the Clerical Quintet. That's what I've always heard.
I don't even know what that is, but okay.
Yeah, later stuff. And I think it's based around like a side character. 31, The Merlin Quintet by Mary Stewart. Never heard of it. And I'm actually not that big on Arthurian legend type stuff, and this is...
I thought you were huge.
I don't... Well, yeah, not really. I mean, I like it all right, but no, just like, I couldn't see me reading 5 books
You mean you don't like books about it, not Arthurian legend, period.
Oh, I love Arthurian legend.
Yeah, see, that's...
Yeah,
okay.
and I have a collection of short stories that are the like Celtic versions of the original Celtic versions of these stories. It's great. But yeah, no, I ain't got time for all that. Number 30 is The Mists of Avalon, or the Avalon series by Marion Zimmer Bradley. God, I see this book crop up all over the place, and I think I actually just picked up a copy.
Really?
Yeah. So I'm going to read that. I'm not going to read any of the rest, I don't think. But yeah, I'm going to give it a go, I think. 29 is The Chronicles of Amber by Roger Zelazny. This is seminal work that I'm never going to read. But I mean, like, life is short. I've wikied it, and I just know it doesn't interest me. But people swear by them. 28, Elemental Logic by Laurie J. Marks. Never heard of it outside of this list.
Yeah, me either.
And I just, I don't know. Just don't care. Life is short. Because basically I'm trying to get to number 27, which is 27, The Black Company by Glenn Cook.
So, we know what is this, 27?
Yeah.
We know what 27, 26, and 25 are. Yeah. And we know we have a shit ton to say about all of them.
Yeah.
I assume we're not going to go
whole
hog. Because we were, like, these are all subjects, maybe not this one as much.
Every one of these could be their own.
And there's
I could talk about the Black Company for hours.
And there's a very strong chance that we will do that.
Yeah.
So this will be a cursory, if anything.
Yeah.
But
Black Company is it basically started the grimdark genre. Like, it was the first real grimdark series out there. Glenn Cook is a master. Love him. He's wildly prolific, and he writes two of my favorite series, this and the Garrett P.I. series, which are very, very different. But yeah, and there's a new book coming out in the series finally after, like, I don't know, over a decade of no books, I guess. So I'm super hype about that. I've read the first 3 books, all of them, over and over and over. Just, they're great. Everyone should read the first 3 books. Everyone should read the first 3 books. If you really like it, keep on reading. If you're just like, okay, that was pretty good, stop there. But because the books of the South, I enjoy them, but you have to be a real fan to really like those.
I have read the first 3, and I very much enjoyed those. I started. You said the next one was the books of the South. I've read the first 1.5, maybe 2 of the books of the South. They were good, but I wasn't in a super reading mode at the time. But I could definitely see where
Bane's not a big reader, and he read all
he went through. He even did what was the
Silver Spike.
Yeah, he did Silver Spike, didn't he?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Which is all right. Silver Spike is far and away the worst book in that series.
Yeah.
But if you're a big fan, read Silver Spike. If you get through the books of the North, read Silver Spike before you read books of the South, because it ties up some loose threads.
Yeah, I thought it was they were good, and there's a lot of stuff about it that I really liked, but also a lot of stuff that I was just like, the hell is like, not what, that's not fair. It wasn't what the hell is this. There was no part I disliked. It was just the magic. I didn't.
Yeah. I really like the magic in it, but there's no real rules behind the magic.
Which bothers me. Which I think
it's basically you get tired.
Yeah.
And that's the end of it. But
that's fine. But I just need to know what you're capable. Like,
yeah.
I don't know.
But I love it. Yeah. I love.
I thought
everything.
It was.
There's nothing about this series that I don't like. Pretty much, like he does a ton of really cool things with it. Like the books of the South kind of take everything to like a very Indian vibe, like India, subcontinent India vibe. You don't see that a lot in fantasy.
Yeah.
Really great. Just, I don't know, he does a lot of cool stuff. There's some great sieges, yada, yada, yada. Moral story, go out and read this. So, 26. Malazan.
Which we know, according to the author, is pronounced Malazan. I can't make myself say that.
I can't.
So now you know what we're talking about, in case you say it differently. But
if you're not saying Malazan, you're saying it wrong. Malazan.
Malarong.
Yeah. I don't hate this series, but the series was a huge disappointment and overly complicated. And you know what? If you put 10 people in a room that had read Malazan, I guarantee you 9 of them would say Malazan. There'd be one pretentious fuck in the corner. It's like, it's Malazan.
Every time we say it, I think that, but I'm like, well, you know what, man? I'm just gonna say what I'm comfortable saying. I know what he says. It's
right.
Fine.
Fuck him. But
Jesus.
If you asked all those people, everyone would. No one could give you a straight answer on what this series is actually about.
Yeah, you're not wrong.
You can't summarize what the series is about. Like, you eventually get.
Some people would say the same thing about Name of the Wind. It's like you can't. Like, what's it about?
Why can I not remember his name? Holy Mother of God. Kvothe. It's about Kvothe.
Yeah, but I know. But like you. One of the things, you know what? That's
But I can tell you what name. Like, Name of the Wind. It's about Kvothe, like growing up, getting his magic.
Yeah.
Yada yada. A journey of him, making himself more fleshed out. But Malazan, man, it's kind of about this. It's kind of about that. There's all these storylines that go nowhere.
Yeah, it's. I have really complicated feelings about it because. Some of the stuff, I think, is
amazing.
Absolutely brilliant and amazing. But then there are problems with the execution in other sections and other ways that, like, completely nullifies how I feel about the good parts.
So many times I've seen where someone's like, oh, yeah, I didn't really get it till my second read-through. Mother of Christ, man. Like, that series fills a bookshelf by itself. I'm aware. I'm not reading that again. I only read 9 of them. I never read the 10th book. I don't know, man. It was a letdown. It's got moments of absolute brilliance, but you have to just slog through so much to get there. I don't know. Read them if you're feeling bold.
Yeah,
some people are fanatics.
Some people love this stuff.
But man, I'd be real hesitant.
We'll go into heavy detail as to the things that we like and don't like about this when we do another podcast on specifically it. But for the time being, I think it's safe to say that it's very long. It jumps all over the place. There's tons of characters, and it's just
don't rush out and get this. There's some better things on this list. Go read the 3 Black Company books before you read this. Or, and I hate to say this, read number 25.
Yes.
I have a lot of problems with number 25.
And I don't.
The Wheel of Time. But I would recommend people read it before Malazan. Like,
if you guys could see the look on his face when he says it like
down.
that.
Like, it's not even close. Like, I have a lot of problems. My problem with Wheel of Time isn't plot-based, it's character-based. And I do have the odd problem with the plot, but, like, more or less, I just hate every character in it, so I get tired of reading all these characters I hate doing stupid shit. But it is more or less a straightforward epic
about.
fantasy series, and it.
You know what it's about, but it's super complex. There's tons of moving parts.
Got a lot of depth. There's
a lot of mystery.
There's a million characters, and they all show back up at some point. It's crazy.
All have epic moments.
Yeah.
Everybody gets to do a thing.
Too bad you have to be annoyed by them for 8 books before they do something cool, but that's just a personal thing. That's a
slight exaggeration.
God, what does that say about your series? I recommend Wheel of Time over you. God, as much as
you should, Wheel of Time is way too low on this list. I'm just going to go out and say this list is not in order.
I am surprised that Wheel of Time got 25.
It's way too. I appreciate some of the things that are on the next episode that are going to be above this, but like. There's no freaking way. I'm sorry.
I mean, that's it. Like, it's just very well written too. So I don't know.
Exceptionally well written.
So I mean, I wouldn't put it,
especially in the earlier episodes.
Top 10.
Part of the problem with it though, is that it was written by Robert Jordan. Robert Jordan was sick and passed away before he finished the series. The last 3 books, these 3 reasons. Yes, I think it's 3. Were finished by Brandon Sanderson. Some of the later books. Right before he passed, weren't as good because I don't know. I think it was probably because his health was failing.
There's a book. You read 800 pages, and by the time you get to the end of it, you realize nothing happened.
And normally I would defend that is an exaggeration, but not enough of one. Not enough of one. Like there was a book that I was just like. It's not that nothing happened. It's that no one moved. There was no progress. Everyone was where they were, and they ended pretty much in the same location they were when they were there, and hadn't completely finished what they had been working on the entire time. So it's what was the point?
Yeah, if you really like epic fantasy, first off, if you really like epic fantasy, you've already read these books.
Yeah.
But if
you haven't, I don't know what you're doing.
If for some reason you're just now getting into epic fantasy and you haven't read these, I highly recommend these. These are the quintessential epic fantasy novels, really.
In my opinion, yeah.
Yeah. So you should check them out.
And I think it's
get ready to be annoyed by stupid characters doing stupid shit.
There are some characters that do just.
Some.
We'll discuss this.
We'll go deep on it.
Yeah, we'll go deep on this later.
Anyway, that's where we're going to end this episode. We will do the next 24 in part 2 of this. And I'm not sure when this is going to go up. But anyway, if you haven't, please, you can email us at booksbeardsbooze@gmail.com. Hit us up. Let us know what you thought about this. We will periodically be doing letters bonus episodes where we discuss what y'all send in to us. You can hit us up on Facebook /BooksBeardsBooze, Twitter @BooksBeardsBooze. Actually, on Twitter we're BooksBeardBooze because we were limited on letters. Yeah. But most of all, check out our blog booksbeardsbooze.wordpress.com. And engage with us on there. We provide a lot of links. I will be putting up a blog about this podcast and provide a bunch of links to a lot of these books and whatnot. Please, if you want to support the podcast, use our affiliate link and go buy a book from one of these authors. It doesn't cost you anything, and we get a slight bit of the proceeds of that. Anyway, cheers. Go forth and grow a great beard.